right thing to do for our customers because we want to have you as a customer for life. Now, I said why we exist, and what we're really trying to drive through everything, and you see the words future-ready financial operations. We, for years, have had to be able to help companies be accurate. It's the apple pie of what we need to do. We know we need to help make you efficient. We understand that's all important. But today, really what's important is we now have to make you even more intelligent. And I don't mean that in a funny way, but I mean that in the sense that we have to give you more information that you can be intelligent in your organization to help them be successful. And so that's what we're really trying to drive towards here. If you're going to indulge me for just a couple moments, this is the next two slides are what I would call the black line brag board. And so just a couple things. You're in great company here. I don't know how many people put their hand up from Apple last night, but I know that a number of you are here. I had dinner with some of you. I do promise I am buying 2 iPhone 16s on Saturday morning, so I promise to be true to my word. But you can look around here. You go through the roster of attendees that are here, and everywhere from Amazon and Apple and Alphabet all the way through to Wayfair, Wendy's, and Whataburger are in the crowd. We have a who's who customer roster. And when you think about that, we have well over 1,100 publicly traded companies that we support. Over $36 trillion of market capitalization runs on Blackline. To put that another way, about the equivalent of a third of the US GDP runs and relies on Blackline. But not only just the big public companies in the United States, if you look at any of the G7 countries around the world, the major stock exchanges, Blackline is the software of choice of those publicly traded companies. But not just public companies. We are the advisor, we are the software of choice for so many of the world's leading venture capital and private equity firms, the future enterprises that will someday rule the world. Those are the companies that start out with Blackline. One of the things I'm particularly proud of, I call it my trifecta, of the top 10 accounting and auditing firms in the world, we serve a supermajority. When I say we serve a supermajority, we do that in 3 ways. One is those firms themselves run on Blackline. 2, they rely on Blackline when they do their audits. And 3, they're super proud to implement Blackline. I don't know that you can get a better endorsement than from the profession that really is the one that drives what goes on. And so that's really important for us. We now have over 2,000 rapidly growing mid-market companies. They are the companies that we know are committed to digital finance transformation because it takes a lot of heart and hard work and effort to make the digital finance transformation dream come true. And so when we're thinking about those companies in the middle market, those are the ones that we really are trying to help inspire and guide along the journey. Now, we get lots of awards. If you ever came to the Blackline headquarters, we've got a plethora of them all over the place. We don't know what to do with them any longer. And it's really nice. But you could see them all up here from ISG and IDC, Hackett, Gartner, G2, TrustRadius. But even just last week, we received the most innovative fintech solution for 2024 for Tech Ascension. And it's all about the innovation that you'll hear a little bit later on in this presentation. But again, we can continue to collect these awards. Now, when I'm sitting in the audience, or if I'm sitting in our executive suite, I say to our people, why do I care? Why does it matter? And for me, when I think about this, it's why Blackline, and why should you care? What should I be able to do that helps you make this worth your time? Right, so everything I'll share now should be through the lens of why does it matter? And if I have your attention for the next 5 or 6 minutes, if you put your phone down and you stop looking at TikTok videos or checking email, then I'll have been successful. And if not, well, then I kind of screwed up. But here's the thing. One of the things that we understand, why does this matter for you? Well, we know your CFO and CIOs today, they want a complete platform. They want a complete product. They want something that they know is unified, it's flexible, it's comprehensive, it's scalable, it gives you one source of truth. And you know it has to continue to be innovative, that what was good enough today will not be good enough tomorrow. So do you choose and work with a partner that you can help shape the outcome? One of the great things about innovation at Blackline that I love is so much of it comes from our customers, our future customers, and our partners. That matters beyond belief. We listen really closely to what you have to say, and so your voices get heard, and that's why this should matter for you. this morning as I was coming in, there was a whole bunch of industry breakfasts that were going on. So I grew up in consulting most of my career, and one of the things I learned was table stakes or domain. You have to have domain knowledge. If you don't have that, you probably can't get anywhere. But the combination of domain expertise with industry expertise really begins to set you apart. And so what we've been doing is working with our customers to not only sort of put you in the like category of similar size companies, but those companies that have the same problems that you wake up to each and every day. In my prior life, when I was a CEO of one of Deloitte's businesses, their cyber business reported to me. And I remember being in a room with all these cyber heads. Sorry, Justin. And they would tell me, well, cyber is cyber. And I'm like, it can't be. Cyber at a healthcare company is different than it is for an oil and gas company, which is different for a life sciences company. So if we can speak and understand the language that's very important to those companies in cyber, they'll get it. And it had a profound impact. That's the same thing we're trying to do now at Blackline, is to be able to create these user communities where you can share and learn. You heard Matt this morning. Matt only learned about Blackline yesterday. He had his own epiphany. What makes this work is all of you working together in those industries where you can compare notes and ideas and best practices. Because guess what? Accounting isn't a state secret, right? It's not really intellectual property. And so people are much more willing to help each other to engage and to learn. We have been spending a lot of time building our software in different languages. Why? So nothing gets lost in translation. That your users, wherever they are around the world, they can use the software comfortably to understand what it means in their local language and then roll that all up. And then also building tailored use cases. I think one of the things that we started to look at is by industry, you take our top 20 customers in any particular sector, and all of you have taken different journeys on Blackline, how you started and where you are and what you're trying to accomplish. You all want to wind up at the same endpoint. So how do we create those use cases and those experiences that help you connect in a way that really drives much more value, the outcome we want you to achieve? Now, an important piece of this is your ERPs. Most of you have more than one. And one of the things that I would say about Blackline that is really interesting is we are ERP agnostic. Now, we have a super special and important relationship with SAP. In fact, 1,400 of our 4,400 customers run on SAP. And we do a lot of great things together in the marketplace and in product innovation and making sure things that are seamless. But we actually have 1,000 customers that run on Oracle. And we're going to make sure from our end, everything we can do to help you be successful with your Oracle platform, where Blackline supports that in an integrated way, is absolutely important. Many of you run on Microsoft Dynamics. That's the same thing. For those of you in the audience, say we have 300 customers now, plus one of our fastest growing parts of the business run on Workday, particularly in financial services. And we want to make sure as we work with them at Workday and you, that again, the experience with Blackline and your ERP is seamless. We even go back as far as PeopleSoft. For those of you on PeopleSoft, nobody wants to admit that, do they? Oh, you two do. There you go. We have a separate cocktail party this evening for both of you. By invite only. So, but again, when you think about the company that we've built, we really try to make sure that we are able to support whatever ERP that you're running on, because we get it. And so a really important part of what we do. The next piece of this is geography. Blackline operates or has customers somewhere in about 130 countries around the world. We're in basically every corner that you could possibly be in. I mentioned the fact that we're adding more and more languages so that you do things in the local language around the world. And we continue to rapidly expand in markets where you want to be. So we get it that as you grow your operations, whether it's a shared service center somewhere, we're going to be on the ground with you as we move forward. And then you get to security. I don't know how many CIOs are in the audience here today, but it's interesting when we get sort of a request for proposal, and let's say it's 20-page request, 16 to 17 of those pages today are about cybersecurity. And as you work in finance, and you want Blackline, your CIO has a very different set of expectations of what she or he wants. They want to make sure nothing's going to go wrong. And you could see all the certifications and awards, and I think Jill would tell me, Jill Knessick, who's our CISO, we have some 50 of certifications that are out there. My eyes glaze over every time I look at the list. But in the bottom left-hand corner is what is, I think, important for all of you. It's that A rating. So from Risk Recon, we've received a score of 9.6. That's about as good as you can get in the marketplace. And just to put in perspective, the software industry generally runs at about 7.8, 7.9. So a huge delta between where we are and where our competitors are and others are in this space. Because we know that it's what's so important for you is that peace of mind to know that nothing's going to go wrong, that the system's up, it's running, it's not going to get hacked. Has anybody ever not had an attempt at a hack in here? Every day, the systems are being pinged over and over and over. And so again, that's a key piece of what we want to make sure that when you're figuring out where to go, it's not only do we have great software that we know we can help you implement and achieve everything you want, but we also have secure software that's going to protect your most important assets. I talked a bit before about partners. It's actually hard to become a BlackLine partner. We have a program now that sort of requires 55 things that what we expect from a partner and equally what the partner can expect from us. Last year, we cut the number of partners we work with by more than half. And the reason being is we need to know that the partners who are working with us, they know you, they know us, they understand the software, they've made the investments in the people that when they come out, they're not opening the manual to read it to figure out how BlackLine works. They have that hand-on experience that also they're committed to helping BlackLine get better. Innovation, again, I said it comes from our customers, it comes from our partners. They do a phenomenal job of looking at things from an industry perspective and then bringing those thoughts and ideas and insights. And what's even better is they sort of know where the puck is going. They track very closely what's happening in the marketplace and give us the thoughts and ideas of what it is that we should be thinking about on our roadmap that's going to be important to customers in specific industries. So the combination of all of that and the idea that what works best when you're working with BlackLine, it's the power of you as the customer, it's the power of that partner, and it's the power of BlackLine, and together the three, that power becomes transformative for you as an organization. Now, this is the point where I'm going to ruin it for everybody and do the grand reveal of what's next, what's in that blue box. Just kidding, I'm not going to do that. Otherwise, Teresa will be really mad at me. But very soon, we have a big release, and so hopefully you'll all see it in the room next door. But a lot of exciting things from an innovation perspective that we are going to be doing. I didn't realize this looked like the Apple drop until Matt said it backstage, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's probably pretty close. But we have a lot to share. I'm so proud of what Therese Tucker, my co-CEO, has been thinking up with Jeremy Young, our Chief Technology Officer, Charlie Galke, our Head of Product, and all the BlackLiners that are really trying to take your feedback and thoughts and ideas to bring this all to life. Now, the whole theme of this, it took us about 5 minutes to come up with the theme, achieve. When we're talking about outcomes, right, that's all about achievement. And so we knew what we wanted. So for all of you first-timers, there were a number of new first-timers here, what makes this work is connect with the attendees, speak with them, learn from them, get to each other's contact information. You'll want them. They'll become your friends for life as you're on your BlackLine journey. Go to the Innovation Hub. There's so much you're going to be able to learn in there to get hands-on experience, get your questions answered, provide your ideas of where we should go. See all the product demos. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Every day, I say to myself, we do that? Like learning stuff from BlackLine users, like I had no idea the power of what this tool is capable of. And that comes from our customers showing us things that they've thought about, then where we co-collaborate and move it forward. Please attend the breakout sessions. I think we have 87 of them. 86 of the decks and the materials and the pre-reads were all turned in on time. You don't want to know who the 87th one was, but the quality of the sessions is as good as it's ever going to be. I should have told you this when I started. This is the largest BeyondTheBlack we've ever had. It's sold out by a wide margin. We actually had to take a bunch of BlackLiners and move them to another hotel. because we wanted to have so many of you here in the audience. But I think everybody likes the idea of what they're trying to achieve. So as you think about this, as you think, why am I here? Think about the word achieve and think about what are the next steps you want to take on your journey. Now, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak with you. It's my great pleasure to introduce our Chief Information Officer. He's been with us about 6-7 months. He's been unbelievable. He's shown me and taught me things in our organization about how to use software in ways that I could never have imagined, and he's just phenomenal. So I think you're going to love meeting him. So please welcome Sumit Johar. You're going to be great.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Sumit Johar, and I'm the Chief Information Officer at BlackLine. I've been with the company for a little less than a year now, but being a former customer of BlackLine, my connection with the company goes back much longer. Having said that, this is my first Beyond the Black event. Coming here, meeting with you all, and just looking at all the energy around us, I must say that I'm extremely excited and proud to be part of the BlackLine family. A little bit about myself. I've been part of the technology industry for more than 25 years now, and during this time, I had the pleasure of being a CIO 3 times. That allowed me to lead several digital transformation programs in my past life. And today, I'm here in front of you to share some of my own learnings about what it means to lead transformation, and especially for finance and accounting leaders like yourself. And our goal is that by the time you leave from here, we've left you with some real good ideas about how to unlock your potential and how can BlackLine help you get there. So let's come back to transformation. You know, one thing that has always intrigued me is what is it that truly drives successful transformation? On one hand, I've been part of some large and expensive programs that didn't exactly leave the kind of impact that everybody was hoping for. And on the other hand, there have been programs that started with a very simple idea, very minimal investment, but turned out to be long-term successful transformation journey for us. It's the experiences like these that led to ongoing debates, not only within my team, but also my CIO network, my CIO circles, about what is it that moves the needle when it comes to transformation. Is it the choice of technology? Is it the quality of the partners that you work with? Is it the sponsorship? Is it the executive oversight? Or is it simply the drive within the team that leads these programs? And today, I want to share and explore the outcome of all those debates with you. But before I do that, I first want to show what the industry analysts are saying about transformation. If you ask McKinsey, you will learn that 70% of transformation programs either end up failing or not meeting the desired goals. I want to show you another interesting stat. So far, globally, we have lost close to $2.3 trillion on failed digital transformation programs. Now, these are some staggering numbers. And what they tell you is that there is no shortage on the interest or investment coming from organizations who are hungry for transformation. They're eager. They see the value of transformation. But there must be something wrong about why these programs fail. And that's what I want to share with you today. In speaking to our customers, our partners, we get a lot of feedback about why some programs work and some don't. And looking at all the feedback, we've come up with top 3 reasons why some of these programs end up sometimes failing. So the first one that I want to share with you today is the lack of alignment and a tight governance. Now, it might sound extremely obvious and simple to you, which is true. Yet, this continues to be one of the main reasons why some digital transformation programs end up failing. Well, it's very common for one business function to adopt an idea and want to solve a problem that they care deeply about. But sometimes what they neglect is the impact, the support and commitment that's going to require from other adjacent groups. We all live in a connected world, and transformation cannot happen in isolation. And I've seen this personally in my past life when some programs end up failing just because one group totally forgot to take into account the resource and timing commitment that they're going to need from other groups. Transformation programs are already so complex that too many things need to go on within a certain amount of time and in a certain order for them to be successful. And that requires extreme discipline. And that kind of discipline is only possible if you have the alignment and support from top to bottom. I remember an example from my past life. This is 10, 15 years back, I'm taking you. My team wanted to launch a brand new billing platform. This was a time when SaaS was new, cloud was new, and all technology providers were planning to support brand new subscription-based pricing for their customers. We were all excited about the technology that we invested in, but my team neglected the amount of impact that it's going to have on other groups. They neglected the amount of support that they're going to need from functions outside of billing. I'm talking about teams like accounting, revenue operations, financial planning, etc. That turned out to be a big mistake. Ultimately, we still managed to go live, but the program timelines got pushed multiple times, and it kind of took away the entire excitement about the program. Second reason that these programs fail, cultural barriers. Every organization has a unique culture, and the culture gets built over time. Now, culture might mean different things to different people, but what I'm really talking about is the ability for you to try new ideas. Does your culture allow you to move fast with new ideas? Does your culture allow you to take risks? Does your culture allow you to move fast? These are the things put together ultimately decide the outcome of complex transformation programs. And I've seen this personally when one program, one idea worked brilliantly on one organization, but failed miserably on the other. The only notable difference was the culture. That's why I always recommend that the pace of transformation in your organization should depend on the kind of culture that you have. Are you really ready for a big transformation? And if you don't think you are, if you don't think a big bang change is possible for your organization, maybe it's time to start taking those incremental steps while you build that change culture that allows you to drive innovation. The third factor that I want to call out for you today is what I call as new technology, old processes. This one is actually one of my favorites because I've seen this all the time. There is a very common misconception that just bringing a brand new technology in itself is going to be enough for you to drive innovation. It's like buying a brand new iPhone and putting it in the hands of a BlackBerry user who only wants to use it with physical buttons. You're not going to make that person happy. We all had to go through that change. We all love our smartphones now, but only after we learned how to use them, only after we changed our habits. So the same concept applies to enterprise processes. Unless and until you challenge, unless and until you change the way you work, change your business processes, technology in itself can only go thus far. So these are a few challenges that I want to share with you, which apply to all transformation programs, all functions, all departments. But I also realize that today I'm standing in front of finance and accounting leaders. And the world of finance gets even trickier because you guys deal with challenges that other functions don't have to worry about. You guys have to deal with real financial numbers, accounting statements, balance sheets, billing statements. There's no margin of error when it comes to your world. And to make the matters worse, you have to deal with some third-party regulations. All these things take so much time, leaving very little time for innovation and transformation. Your teams don't have the luxury to use a technology that only works 80% of the time. But isn't that the challenge with modern and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence? I mean, even the latest and greatest large language models claim to have an accuracy rate of 80 to 90%. What does that mean? What does that mean for finance team? Does it mean that you should wait until the technology becomes mature? Well, the short answer is no. There wasn't a technology that was mature from day one. It takes time. But if you don't start experimenting in your low-risk areas with the emerging technologies, you're not going to be ready. See, I'm a space geek, so I'm going to share an example from NASA for you. How many of you know that NASA had to conduct 12 separate missions before they finally landed on the moon? 12 separate missions. And with every step, every mission, they were getting one step closer to the moon. That's what we all need for ourselves. We need to be future ready. If you see yourself using artificial intelligence in your function in 12 to 24 months, you need to start today. See, we are living in a time when innovation is happening at a pace never seen before. Even for technology leaders like ourselves, sometimes it feels like we're playing a constant game of catch-up. Every week, every month, we learn about something new that has come up when it comes to technology side, and we have to go and learn about that. I mean, who would have thought that Zoom would become a household name in 2020? Who would have thought that OpenAI will totally change the way we engage with technology? And who would have thought that NVIDIA would become the most valuable company in 2024? These companies were not reacting to a change. These companies were expecting a change. They envision a world that's going to need something that they could create in advance. So by the time the world is ready, they were already ready and they were ready to capitalize on that. And that's what we all need for ourselves. We need a digital ambition for ourselves. Earlier, I was talking about how fast the innovation is happening. If you look around, the companies that are not innovating are getting obsolete. I'll share a recent example with you. A cybersecurity company, CrowdStrike, recently made a small error in one of their updates, and that affected thousands of their customers. Now, there were some companies who came out of it pretty quickly, while there were some others who struggled for weeks. And industry analysts claim that the total damage just by this one incident was somewhere between $5 to $10 billion. That kind of impact tells you that we need to put more and more focus on adaptability and resilience in our operations. Otherwise, we're going to become obsolete. And that has to be taken into account when you are setting a digital ambition for yourselves. So we're talking about being future ready, talking about digital ambition. What does it all mean for finance and accounting leaders, and what can you do right now? What steps can you take right now to be future ready? I got a few ideas, and I want to share those with you. First and foremost, please set a clear digital ambition for yourself. What I mean by that is knowing where you stand today and where you want to get to. But the key is to do it in a very measurable and quantifiable way. If you have to do some benchmarking for yourself so you know exactly where you stand. And only when you know where you stand today and where you want to be, then only you need to make the decision about changes on people, process, and technology that you need to get there, to meet your digital ambition. The second step that I want to advise for you today is build a culture of innovation. It's easier said than done because culture does not change overnight. And we're all hardworking leaders. Everybody likes to think that we are innovating. The question is, how do you qualify that? How do you measure that? And I would say start by asking a few questions to yourself. When was the last time you made a big change on people, process, technology, any of these fronts? And when you did it, how did it go? Do you constantly invite and reward new ideas? Have you ever asked a third party to come in and benchmark your processes? And as you start answering these questions, you will know where you stand when it comes to innovation graph. And if you're not satisfied with the answers that you got from yourself, it is the time now to start taking those baby steps to build that culture of change that ultimately is going to drive innovation for you. The third suggestion that I have for you today is picking the right technology partners. When I say technology partners, I'm not just talking about technology providers only. I'm also talking about your system integrators. But the key, again, is to look beyond their basic qualifications. It becomes a crowded word when you're just looking at the basic credentials. But you got to look at their industry domain knowledge, their customer base, their cybersecurity credentials. You guys are finance leaders. You deal with sensitive data all the time. You need a partner who understands the concept of data privacy and the impact of that. In the end, what I'm really saying is you need a partner that's going to be a transformation advisor for long term and not just a technical solution provider. And last but not the least, what I want to suggest is align with your IT partners. CFO and finance organizations are being asked to think strategically and look beyond their traditional responsibilities. CIOs are facing the same. There wasn't a better time for CFO and CIO organizations to collaborate better. Technology is creating new opportunities that did not exist before, and who's a better partner for you than your own IT organization? Your IT organization, the right partnership, will allow you to automate the repetitive tasks that you have been struggling with. The right partnership will allow you to find the insights from data that's scattered all of your systems, but it is upon you to move that partnership from being tactical to strategic. These were some ideas that I wanted to share with you today. You guys are smart financial leaders, and I also understand that nobody's journey is the same. Ultimately, you are the master of your journey. Nobody knows better than you about what is slowing you down. Our goal is to make sure that we provide you enough guidance, being your partner on your transformation journey, to make sure that we can help you unlock your potential. But coming back to wrap it up, as you spend next couple of days with us, I want to call out that we have so many resources available for you today. We have our transformation experts, our solution experts, our customers are here, our management is here, our board members are here, and everybody is willing to connect with you, meet with you, and help you in whatever capacity we can. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to transition to our next speaker, who is going to talk about the evolving role of accounting and finance leaders. Please help me welcome our Chief Accounting Officer and our soon-to-be Chief Financial Officer, Patrick Villanova.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patrick Villanova, Chief Accounting Officer. I've had the pleasure over the past year to work on a lot of digital transformation with Sumit, as he just spoke about. And over my 9 years here at BlackLine, I've been doing a lot of digital transformation. And Sumit and everyone here, thank you. Thank you for the congratulations on being the next CFO of BlackLine. Thank you. It's a privilege, it's humbling, and it's a great honor. So thank you again. Now, with that being said, the office of the CFO is a great place to be. And I'm not just saying that because I've been CFO-elect for 2 weeks now, but the slide says it as well. But in all sincerity, when you look at the office of the CFO and the role of the CFO in particular, at no point in time has the CFO been so important strategically to an organization, whether it's sales, marketing, product, HR, legal, you name it, whatever department, they come to the office of the CFO for insights, for reporting, for data, so that as leaders, they can make better decisions. And because of the influx of data, they constantly come to the office of the CFO. We're no longer just accounting and finance. We are now the strategic partners for the entire business. And I'm not just pandering or making this up. A recent study from IDC said that 90% of all executives, not just financial executives, 90% of all executives said that the relevance, the importance of the CFO has been elevated in recent years. But that has come with a lot of responsibility. CFOs now are being asked to accelerate growth, but still manage costs. We're being asked to retain and develop talent, but with less resources. We're being asked by all these leaders to provide insights in terms of what they need to run their business to be more effective, but do it faster and don't compromise accuracy. And then most recently, AI. People are looking to the office of the CFO to implement AI and be creative and leverage it, but don't inject any additional risk. Don't do that. So you can see, the challenges that the office faces these days in the expanding role. And I know exactly what everybody out there is asking. An overwhelming majority of you aren't CFOs, so why do you care? And so this is where we're leading. When the CFO is asked to do these things, they often say, okay, I need a system and I need a process to produce this information. And the first two people the CFO reach out to are the CIO, Sumit, and the CAO, and said, work together and put together a system so that I can generate the information so that other leaders can be effective at their jobs. The second request that comes to the CFO says, well, that system, you better put some process and controls around it, because it better be repeatable, it better be accurate, and it better be fast, because that's the only way we're going to be a successful organization and execute our strategy. And who do they look to? Who are the process and controls experts? Here we are. This is where the office of the CAO comes in. This is where this all comes together for us. The elevation of the office of the CFO raises all of us up. The old adage, the rising tide raises all ships. And it's not just other executives that are seeing this. It's not CFOs that are just feeling this. According to a recent Gartner study, the #1 priority of CFOs is transformation. Not number 3, not number 5. It's the first time it was ever #1 in this study. So you see the stars aligning for us, everyone in the crowd. We've been talking about this for years, unlocking the potential of accountants, being more strategic, being more analytical, being part of the business. Well, it's here. It's right in front of us. Other executives, 90% of them agree. CFOs, it's their #1 priority. And now our skill set, what we do and only we can do to support the office of the CFO themselves, is critical for the effectiveness and the success of a company. So with that being said, let's not lose sight of what we do and who we are. We're going compliance to guidance, but you don't get guidance without compliance. At the end of the day, accuracy is #1. Compliance is #1. That is our core job. But that's no longer just our job. If we're looking for something beyond debits, credits, and journal entries for the rest of our careers, it's here. It's upon us. We are the strategic partner to the CFO, and the CFO is the strategic partner to the entire business. So with all that said, I'm excited to introduce somebody to you today. We bring a lot of brilliant people to B2B. And this gentleman right now is running the global effort for financial transformation for SAP. And I want to point out that part of that effort involves the implementation of BlackLine. But beyond that, he's also implementing and working with different AI initiatives. And he's also very interested in sustainability studies. So with no further ado, please put your hands together for the CAO of SAP, Dr. Christopher Cesar. Dr. Christopher.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Christopher Cesar. I'm the Chief Accounting Officer of SAP. I joined the company 18 years ago already. I started my career at SAP with a transition of the old revenue recognition rules to IFRS 15. So that was the first project I was involved in as an expert. Became then responsible for our whole external reporting, so what we are going to file as also being listed in the US. And then I switched roles into rather the business, what we call field finance, became the CFO of the German market unit, which is the second largest market unit at SAP. And then returned back to the accounting role 4 years ago, became SAP's Chief Accounting Officer, also responsible for tax at SAP, reporting to our Chief Financial Officer, Dominik Asam. And in my free time, I'm also giving lectures at German universities in accounting and trying to prepare the next generation of accountants, for their profession and next career step.
That's awesome. Christopher and I, we've been doing this for quite some time. And, as much as the profession has evolved and as much as we automate and technologies have come and go and businesses have come and go, as much as we're getting better at automating, this is still a stressful profession. We're being asked to do more and more every day with less. And the business world is constantly demanding more of us. And I see that as a leader, I see that as a manager. And as I often tell my team, sometimes I see that burden, I see that stress, and I remind them, let's call it a night. Let's take the weekend off. We're not saving lives here. So imagine my surprise a couple months ago when our marketing department reaches out and said, Patrick, we need you at B2B to interview a doctor of accounting on stage. And I paused and I said, wait a minute, are we saving lives now? So I was a little confused, but welcome again. So Christopher, I mentioned it at the lead-in that you're experimenting and using AI or looking at AI in several of your initiatives. Could you maybe elaborate on that and go into how you're using AI within SAP?
Yeah, so first of all, to give an example, when I boarded my plane on Friday, my team had a little gift, which was reviewing our annual report. And the first thing I had to find out is that it increased by another 120 pages, which has to do with the ESG requirements regulation in Europe. But that is why it is so super important for us as chief accounting officers to rely on technology. And that plays, of course, a very, very pivotal role. What I oftentimes really like to start with is the core, the ERP system. And my recommendation also to other chief accounting officers then typically also is keep it clean and keep it as not over customized as possible, because that is the fundamental basis also at SAP in our system to then put additional technology on top of that. And that's also how we do it at SAP. And the question also comes, do we also rely on partner solutions? Yes, we do. And BlackLine is a great example. I think that's really a success story. We implemented the leasing solution a couple of years ago. And this was also a great example, also a seamless integration of that solution into the SAP system of how we went from a highly manual, very painful process to a much more automated processing of lease accounting in our system. And that's only one example, I think, for the whole portfolio of BlackLine, which we have on our price list as a solution extension solution. Yeah.
Great. Well, you're at the right conference. So, I mentioned earlier, we feel it all the time, right? The business is always saying, we need this, we need that, we need information faster. But you and I both know, we can try to do it faster, but if the information is incorrect, it's moot, it's irrelevant. If you're making decisions off the incorrect numbers, it doesn't matter. So how do you balance that? How do you do that as a leader of such a huge organization, balance all the requests of the business, but still maintain accuracy?
When I returned from my role as Chief Financial Officer of SAP Germany, we had a program, and that program, and many of you will know that, that was named Fast Closing. And one thing which we immediately did was we changed that and said, no, it shouldn't be fast closing anymore. It should be closing excellence. And I think that pretty much goes into what you are asking. To me, this always needs to go hand in hand. And by the way, I saw a button which talks about smart close, which from my perspective is also a much, much more accurate way of describing how we should act. So compliance quality and speed that needs to go, from my perspective, hand in hand. The one is worth nothing without the other. Yeah, as far as artificial intelligence is considered, we have a handful of use cases which are live already. We are not yet quite there that we let do the artificial intelligence applications. We rely on doing our postings, our journal entries automatically. What we really find, that developed in the last 3 to 6 months, is really that it's a great technology to put your controls on. So we have, again, in the leasing space, some very interesting use cases where we establish controls based on AI, and there's certainly more to come. And lastly, and I'm also in our finance organization, the executive sponsor for ESG reporting. I think this whole topic of accuracy will also matter a lot when it comes to ESG reporting. For me as an accountant, as a chief accountant, it is always a little bit strange and feels odd when we are reporting about carbon impact on guesstimates, making estimates and all that. And I think that will be a very, very important aspect for the accounting function in the upcoming years, because I'm very, very convinced that when it comes to carbon footprint, to some ESG attributes, we will be posting them in the future. And that is where, again, it will become very, very interesting for accountants, because that will precisely result in more accuracy also in the area of ESG reporting.
So last question. You heard Sumit talk about earlier today, investing in change-friendly people. Change-friendly, maybe people open to change. The profession's changing, our roles are changing, the days of probably what we did, right out of college is very different than the influence that accountants can have now on a business. What are you doing to identify talent like that? Or what are you doing to not just identify and find it, but more importantly, retain it?
Yeah. I met Theresa yesterday outside of the ballroom, and I really must say I liked a lot what she said, which was that a lot of the innovation in Blackline, and that's as true also for SAP, comes from our customers. But I must say I would even go one step beyond that, and I would say a lot of our innovation also comes from our accountants, comes from our finance people. And this, as far as also talent management is kind of considered, is a very, very important point for me, to give our people in the accounting profession really the opportunity to shine and to also come up with ideas how we can innovate things, because they know certainly best what are the most painful and ugly processes and what we can streamline. And we are also, in particular, in the area of artificial intelligence, with that kind of top-down approach, making very, very good experiences, simply asking them, what do you think? How can we better streamline processes, leveraging also artificial intelligence? So that would be also maybe a recommendation, and that makes also the whole topic of accounting certainly even more attractive. Now, you've mentioned that I'm also engaged at German universities, and when I talk to students, what you easily will find out, and spoiler alarm now, it's not Excel. And yesterday we also heard Excel bullshit. And that's not what students today are interested a lot in. What they are really interested in is how really artificial intelligence, how modern technology can also help them become better accountants. And that is also basically what I try to do in my lectures. Instead of teaching them IFRS kind of technical knowledge, to go rather into processes and making them a little bit familiar with modern technologies, helping them to understand that accounting is still, and I'm convinced, a fascinating topic. On the other hand, I always start all my lectures with debit and credit bookkeeping, because I'm still very, very convinced that this is something which will stay. And again, if we take the example of carbon accounting, we will even extend this hundreds of year-old technology, so to say, to further areas, which then might be ESG reporting, carbon footprint accounting.
Great. Well, Christopher, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being a great partner to Blackline, and we appreciate your time. So with that being said, that's a great segue. Next up, we have a panel of individuals that are early in their accounting careers and to hear their perspective, the next generation of accountants. And so with that said, I want to introduce to you a principal solution consultant that will be leading that panel. His name is Patrick Schmidt. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Hello, everybody. Patrick Schmidt, very happy to be here. Welcome, and thank you all for joining us. I'm a principal solutions consultant here at Blackline. So I've been at Blackline for about 5.5 years now, but prior to joining, my background was in accounting. So I started my career in public accounting, like many of us do, and grind my teeth there for a little bit, lost a little bit of hair, and then I made the transition out into industry. And that's really where I got my initial exposure to Blackline. So now that I've been with Blackline for a few years, my job is to really work with our customers to help them understand Blackline's power to transform and really make finance and accounting processes run like clockwork. Now, I think we heard some great comments from Patrick and Dr. Cesar around the talent shortage, right, and sort of what the expectations are going forward. So now that we've sort of heard from the seasoned veterans, we want to bring up some young professionals to the stage, those that are new to the profession, to really get their perspective on the future of the profession and also, what the expectations are going forward. And we want to have some fun while doing that as well. So please join me in welcoming to the stage our 3 panelists: Sarah Robinson from Delta Airlines, Gabriel Soler from our partner Clear Salting, and John Ingram from Tractor Supply. All right. So first, I just want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are really brave to get up here and jump in the hot seat as new professionals here. And we're going to start with an icebreaker type of question to keep things light. So Sarah, you're going to be taking us out here.
All right.
So when you're out meeting somebody for the first time, what sort of reaction do you get when you tell people that you work in accounting?
Okay. So I work at Delta Airlines. So I think initially people assume that I'm a flight attendant. So I have to let them down a little bit and tell them I'm an accountant. And then their next follow-up question is, can I help them with their taxes? So I usually have to let them down again.
Yep. It always comes to taxes every time. And I just started saying yes. I just say I'm slammed during tax season and then end of story. That's it. So John, next, I want to dig a little bit more into why you chose the accounting profession. So what was it that gravitated you towards this lavish lifestyle that we lead?
Yes, lavish indeed. So I was introduced to our profession at a very young age. My dad actually has worked in corporate accounting and finance his entire career. It's quite literally put food on the table for me and put me through college. So I've had an affinity for it, you could say, my whole life. But no, when I got to college, I enjoyed my first accounting class, which is kind of sounds wild to say out loud, but I did, and I felt like I got a really good introduction to the business world, and felt like the accounting profession could really help me start to really understand how businesses operate, and that's what brought me into it.
Awesome. And I think that's what many of us get into it for. It's just the affinity for process improvement, not just, the traditional bean counter sort of phrase that we hear. It's being a strategic partner to the business.
Yep.
So sort of follow up, Gabriel, I want to pick on you a little bit here. You're on the management consulting side,
Yep.
right? So you still work with finance and accountants on a daily basis. What was it that gravitated you towards that role?
Yeah, so for me, I think it was less about spreadsheets, accounting itself, or even job security for that matter. But I think numbers tell a story, right? And when you combine accounting and technology, you are equipped to create that story and at the same time kind of solve the hidden mysteries behind the data. right? So that's what gravitated me towards accounting, and also the fact that every major business decision is driven by accounting. So those are the two things that got me into this field.
Awesome. That's great. Now, next question, Sarah, coming back to you. Now that you've been in this industry for a few years, thinking back to what you envisioned before entering the profession, is there anything that's drastically different from what you imagined?
Right. Yeah, similar to what you guys mentioned. I feel like, accounting can be such a dynamic career. So, people think, you're just in your cubicle all day, but I found it's really diverse. You get to work with lots of different groups, cross-functionally, and, to get the right number, the right reporting, really, you have to, work with people all across the organization. So that's been a part that I've really enjoyed. It's been, a pleasant surprise. So.
Yeah, definitely. And that's part of being a strategic partner to the business, right? And we can't do that when we're stuck in manual tasks and, day-to-day things that bog us down.
Right.
Gabriel, I'm going to follow up there. What's your reaction to that? What's been your experience working with finance and accounting teams? Would you say that they've had different expectations once they get into the profession?
Yeah, so for me, I started my career at a big accounting firm, focusing on transfer pricing and more on the intercompany side. So I thought the expectation would be to, really hone into transfer pricing requirements and assess really what the client needs on a country by country basis. But the reality is much more dynamic than that. So it's more about navigating the client through complex conversations and also helping them understand that their process does need or may need a significant overhaul, right? So surprisingly, it's less about requirements and more about people, managing expectations and helping their process be improved and also build relationships. So those are the things that, I came thinking it would be more about spreadsheets and looking at requirements, but the numbers and the requirements, they just keep us honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. All right, this next question, John, I'm going to be coming back to you. And if John's managers are in the crowd, which he did confirm they are, I want you to take notes. So, John, if you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about your job, what would that be?
The fun questions. Hey, Matt. No, going back to what Gabriel was saying about, Excel workbooks and stuff like that, anything we can do to eliminate, mundane tasks or clunky Excel workbooks. I know a lot of us in the crowd probably have some of those workbooks in our files. And without sacrificing, of course, the completeness and accuracy of our books, getting anything to eliminate those and giving time back to business partners to help drive, inform our business partners to help them make better decisions, whether that's leadership or, anyone else in our organization. That's where I'd have to go with.
Awesome. So if you had to summarize it, no more bullshit.
No more bullshit.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So Sarah, is there anything that you might want to add to that? If you had your magic wand, what would you change?
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like, I would want to automate as many of the manual things just to, improve the process, make our lives easier, and really give us more time to focus on the most critical things for sure. So
Definitely. All right, on to the next question. So we have a lot of finance and accounting leaders in the audience today. I think close to 50 CAOs and CFOs collectively. So I'm going to come back to you, Sarah, again, actually. Sorry for picking on you. What strategies do you think are most critical for those leaders to really attract and retain top talent in the future?
Right. I feel like, discussing with, perspective for your company about just the different paths that a career could take in accounting. I don't think I realized that when I started in school. I feel like they kind of try to push you into, certain careers, but everyone needs accountants. So, if you can align, what your passions are in a certain industry, I feel like you can really get some great talent. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Gabriel, do you have any reaction to that as someone who works with a diverse group of finance and accounting teams? Would you say that's consistent with what you hear?
Absolutely. I think Sarah hit the nail right on. I think setting the expectations right away and allowing them to understand what are the career option paths and what are the opportunities that I'll have 2 years down the line, 4 years down the line, 6 years down the line, allows them to really plan accordingly, but also make sure that if they want to pursue an accounting career, they know what path they want to go down. Oftentimes, people just get staffed in projects and they just get their hands dirty right away, but they don't necessarily know what this could look like 2 years down the line, 4 years down the line. So that's number one. And then number two would be just creating meaningful work and allowing people to have an impact as soon as possible. Because if folks feel like they're having an impact, they will stick with you.
Sure. Yeah. John, anything you might want to add there?
I think these two hit the nail on the head. Yeah, the meaningful projects was something I was thinking about when we were talking through this earlier. That's the biggest thing.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to wrap things up here with a little bit of a lightning round to make this fun. So these questions are going to be answered in one word by our panelists, and it'll be interesting to hear what they respond with. So how would you describe the profession in one word? Sarah, take us out.
Evolving.
Evolving, that's good. Gabriel?
I'd say reliable.
I would say pivoting.
Pivoting, that's good. I like that. Next question. How would you describe Beyond the Black in one word?
In one word. Yeah, awesome.
You have our co-CEO up front, so choose wisely.
I would say game changer.
I would say big.
Love it. Intimidating from up here, yeah. All right, next one. How would you describe AI if you were to describe it with one word?
That's a good one. Maybe uncharted?
I like that.
I would say augmentative.
Future.
Love it. This is the up-and-coming professionals. Nobody said scary, so that's good. All right. And last one, Disney or Universal?
Ooh.
Contentious.
Well, I want to say both, but I think I've got to go with Universal.
Okay.
We'll be headed there this week.
I would also say both, but I'll go with Disney just to even it up.
Hybrid.
I'll say Universal. Big Harry Potter guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I would say both, but I'm going to leave it at no comment. Yeah. So I want to thank you all for joining us on the stage here and getting in the hot seat. Really, this has been a lot of fun, and I feel confident in saying that the future of our profession is bright, knowing that you guys are going to be leading the way. So thank you. And now I'm going to pass it back to Matt Eisman.
Thank you.
Nice job. Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen. That was awesome. I'm going to confess something to you. I feel like we're kind of friends now. This is really interesting. You guys, I will admit that you guys are changing the impression I have of accountants, okay? Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but accountants, generally, you guys aren't thought of as the coolest people, right? I mean, you're nerds, let's be honest, right? You love numbers. Like the coolest accountant we all knew growing up was on Sesame Street. A 1, a 2. But now I come here, you guys have a pink-haired CEO. You guys are going out to steak dinners. This is incredible. By the way, I don't think I haven't noticed you guys are rehabilitating your image. You guys had a movie come out called The Accountant. Did you guys see that? It starred Ben Affleck, the guy who played Batman, a superhero who would defeat villains with his muscles and his mind. He's an accountant who kills people with good deductions and a .50 caliber Barrett rifle. You guys, this is what's crazy is impressions. 'Cause like when I got into Hollywood, like Hollywood, let's be honest, you picture the glitz and the glamour. And sometimes you get a touch of that. I'm in reality TV, so not so much. But when you're starting out in Hollywood, it's ugly. Like, you have to do things to support yourself. And I won't lie, I sold out. I did commercials. And, right. So you guys are, I think accountants are like, why is that funny? We all have to advertise. Commercials are a good investment. Sure, unless you're the guy in the commercial. My first commercial was for Athlete's Foot cream. I don't know if you heard the part. I'm a doctor. I went to medical school. I had an MD, and now I'm on an ad going, you mean some cream wants you to rub it on your toes 7 days in a row? That's out. I'm with Lamisil. Boy, was my dad proud. I did an ad for Deep Woods Off, where I was the guy who didn't bring Deep Woods Off on a romantic camping trip. So the whole commercial, I'm getting slapped in the face. This is a 30-second commercial that we filmed over 11 hours, and apparently I had a method actor who's wailing off on me. Just the next day I woke up, I looked like a Kardashian after her plastic surgeon had a half-off sale on filler. Just this side of my face was up. But this was the worst. This was the worst part. Talk about the glamour of Hollywood. I went out for a commercial, and this was actually, commercials pay well. I'm not going to lie. And this was a commercial for Jack in the Box to play Jack. I auditioned for the role of Jack. Now, you know the ads. Jack's wearing this conical head. And so I walk into the room, and there's a table full of executives. And then on this table, there is this massive 3-foot-tall hat that's like a snow globe. And so I just walk in, they don't say anything. And I'm like, okay. So I pick it up, and I put this massive helmet on. Now, inside is a smaller helmet that fits tightly on your head to suspend this massive dome on your head. And in it, because this is a solid cone, you can't see anything, you're wearing tiny cameras on your eyes. Now, the camera is actually 2 feet in front of you in the nose of Jack. And what they don't tell you is this throws off your equilibrium, because what you're seeing is actually not what you're experiencing. And this can make you extremely sick. And I know this because this happened to the person who wore the helmet before me. They didn't tell me until I put it on. And it smelled like, I don't know if you've ever been in New York City the morning after St. Patrick's Day. It smelled like that. It was awful, but I am in there. I'm like, this is the role of a lifetime to play Jack. So I put the helmet on. I'm walking around in this thing. They're going, can you move? I'm like, can I move? Look at me. And they go, okay, thanks a lot. And I go, I take the helmet off, and I go, did I get it? And they go, oh, no, you're too tall. Didn't you know that when I walked in? And they go, yeah, we just needed someone to see if the helmet was clean. And I'm convinced to that day that person was an accountant. That son of a gun. But I'm here. You guys are changing my mind on accountants. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that I got to meet this woman, that we now get to bring her on stage. I'm calling her the pink-haired powerhouse. She is Blackline's founder and co-CEO. Give it up for the great Therese Tucker.
Thank you. It is so good to be here. I've already met so many of our customers. I've already heard so many fun stories of things that you're doing. And it's really kind of amazing how far we've come from our very first user conference in 2007, which was in Santa Monica, in a small room with about 20 people. I think 8 of them were Blackliners, and no windows, and a stained carpet. Okay, that's how we got started. And most of my employees at the time looked like they were still in high school. And so it was a very different vibe. In fact, one of those employees you'll be hearing from after me, Charlie Galkey, a lot of people still with the company, because we, as our company culture, we love helping our customers. We love actually using technology to solve real business problems and delivering value. That's what gets us up in the morning. And when I hear about how you achieve it makes my life fun. That's the only way to put it. It is truly a case where your success is our success. Now, over the years, we have been very focused on innovation, okay? Successful transformations require innovation. And from the very beginning, we have innovated. We were very much the first to do a number of different things. Today, I get the privilege and the honor to share with you the culmination of about 2 to 3 years worth of work by many people inside of Blackline. We think that these very exciting and new capabilities are really going to change how you manage financial operations. Now, Owen mentioned that our winning aspiration is to inspire, power, and guide digital finance transformation. Great, it's kind of a buzzwordy sort of thing. Everybody here knows how much I love buzzwords, okay? However, Sumit mentioned this, all right? And he also had another number in there. $2.3 trillion have been wasted on failed initiatives. That's an insane amount of money, okay? 70% of transformation initiatives fail to meet their objective, all right? First, so before we go any further, let's go back to that winning aspiration and modify it slightly. Because we know how hard you work for every dollar of budget, okay? And so we don't want to help inspire, power, and guide you with a failed digital finance transformation effort. It's got to be successful. And that is our mission, is to ensure that every time you embark on a journey with Blackline, whether it's your first time through or it's your 10th product that you're implementing, that we are with you on that journey to help you have success and achieve what you set out to do. So before I show you how our technology is going to enable that, I want to acknowledge what the Office of the CFO is dealing with. Transformation is about people, processes, and technology, okay? So let's start by talking about the technology piece. Financial systems landscapes have become incredibly complex, all right? You are managing your financial operations across many different applications. Now, this slide here, the genesis of this slide was really our own internal financial system landscape. I was astonished at how many different systems, how many different processes, and we just have one ERP, okay? Some of you have tens of ERPs. Some of you have literally hundreds of different ERPs, and with dozens of other systems, all right? You have purpose-built applications. Does this look familiar to everybody? All right, it's not unique to large organizations. But technology complexity is only part of what makes digital finance transformation difficult. For each one of those systems and processes, there is a tremendous amount of work happening outside of the systems. Spreadsheets, emails, okay, other manual processes, running reports, looking for certain things. You are being asked to turn data into information faster and more accurately than ever before, all right? This is why so many digital finance transformations fail, because it's not just the applications, it's all the complexity of the people and the process and the technology around them that makes things either slow or inaccurate or just completely unusable. So what if we told you that we've been working on something to fix that? Okay, this is kind of fun. All right. For years, we have had a platform that supports many of your critical finance and accounting activities. And, we've always gone far beyond account reconciliations. But today, we are announcing the next generation Blackline platform. This is a platform that will connect all of your financial operations and work with all of your applications. This will provide infrastructure. This will provide power to your financial operations in a way that no other platform can. Now, we think this is the key to future-ready financial operations. And we think that this can be the infrastructure or the power behind making sure that every transformational initiative is successful. The strong compliance and effective controls that are built in will make sure that your data is accurate. Your operations will be efficient, all right, and intelligent. We've already talked quite a bit today about how the demands on the office of the CFO are constantly increasing because the business wants that strategic partnership with you. They want insights that will tell them if their decisions that they're making are good ones, all right? So with that in mind, I want to introduce you to Blacklines. Oh, actually, Blacklines. Hold on, time out. Actually, we have been innovating a long time, and this has been a journey that we are on. We have brought a number of groundbreaking new products and markets to fruition. We started with account reconciliations, we added tasks, we added matching, we added journals. We created a brand new market with our intercompany solution. We've expanded into other areas of the office of the CFO with the acquisition of invoice to cash. All right. We have been focused on solving all of these problems for the office of the CFO. But now we're entering a new era. We call it our platform era. Okay. But you know how much I love buzzword bingo, all right? What is a platform? Everybody's got a definition for a platform right now. There is currently going on in your departments a wave of vendor consolidations. Why? Because when SaaS came on the market, there were literally hundreds of point solutions. And guess what? That's hard to manage. So your companies, your CIOs have very smartly said, we need to start to consolidate down the number of vendors that we have. And therefore, the answer to that is a platform that does more than one thing. Makes perfect sense. As a result, every software company out there is going, we've got a platform. All right, I saw one the other day where a company that I know of came out with journals and matching functionality. And they said, we've got a platform. And I'm thinking, that's not really a platform. That's some nice functionality that we've had for 15 years. But, and there's another company. They purchased an integration company, all right? They said, we've got a platform. Well, that's important. Integration is an important piece to a platform, but that's not all there is. What I think you're going to learn about today is going to be the gold standard in what a platform, how a platform should be designed. And with that, I want to introduce you to the Blackline Studio 360 platform.
At Blackline, we often think about our past and our future, consistently returning to one question. How can we best drive successful digital finance transformation for our customers? In our first era over 20 years ago, the answer was a single solution for financial close activities like account reconciliations and journal entries. Over time, we moved into our multi-solution era, marked by an expansion of capabilities to cover the full record-to-report and invoice-to-cash processes. And now, as we commit to delivering future-ready financial operations across the office of the CFO, we are entering a brand new era. Today marks a turning point for BlackLine. This is the era of the BlackLine Studio 360 platform. Studio 360 is a set of 5 essential components that enable a level of accuracy, efficiency, and intelligence never before seen. Welcome to the era of the BlackLine Studio 360 platform.
Woohoo! Okay, 5 components. Every single one of them is critical to being a true platform. Okay. Later, Jeremy and Charlie, our CTO and head of product, are going to go into this in depth for you. I get to do the overview. Actually, I could probably stand up here all day and tell you just about this. But I'm briefly going to go over these 5 absolutely essential components. Number 1, integrate. Okay. You must be able to get data in and out of your system incredibly easily. And that is different for different companies and for different systems. Older systems might be FTP file drops. Newer systems might be APIs, okay? There's any number of ways. There might be custom-built connectors. It might be using our iPaaS integration platform, okay? You have to be able to get data in and out. You have to be able to cleanse that data. You have to be able to transform it. Gotta have integrate. Number 2, orchestrate. This started out as the BlackLine Accounting Studio a couple of years ago. The ability to graphically define all of the processes in accounting and finance. So first you have a graphical layout. You can then automate those processes from start to finish. Whether it's when a file shows up, you then run a process, and then you can subsequently post journals, all of it automated from end to end. I had such a great conversation on this functionality yesterday with someone who was an early adopter. God bless them, they've been on that journey with us for about 1.5 years. And she said, this is incredible. This is what accountants have wanted to do since the very beginning. And I said, oh my God, are you going to say that on stage? And she said, yes, I am. And I was like, phenomenal. Because that ability to see it, automate it, see where the roadblocks are, optimize it, that is the ultimate command and control center that is going to bring incredible visibility and organization to all of those different processes that are currently happening in finance and accounting. Nobody else does this the way we do it. It is phenomenal. Number 3, visualize. Over the last few years, BI tools have gotten really awesome. Like you can build very cool things that give you the information that you need at a moment's notice. You have a policy that nobody should be posting a journal for under $250. Guess what? You can have a dashboard that tells you immediately if anybody's out of compliance. Okay? Visualize is now incorporated into our products in such a way that every single product has its own BI dashboard. And if you end up, that part's free, just so you know. If you end up not liking our dashboards and you want to invest in the platform, you can also customize your own. You know what that means? That means you don't have to export data out of BlackLine anymore. Everything that you need to see to make sure that your business is running well, right there, at a fingertip. Visualize. Number 4, Blueprint. We have more than 4,400 customers. We have an incredible partner network. We have incredibly smart people that have done incredible things, all right? We have Tammy's Optimization Academy, where there are more than 50 different accounting processes. What if we were able to put all of this into Blueprint so that when you think about going on a transformational journey, you can browse how other people have optimized all the different processes inside of finance and accounting to see if yours could be easily optimized by following that same process. This is intended to be a marketplace where our partners can really showcase their expertise, and all of our partners have certain areas where they are terrific at, okay? So Blueprint, the marketplace, and the library of cheat sheets, okay? 4,400 customers have been before you, all right? Let's learn from them. Let's share that knowledge. Let's make transformation so much easier simply by using the mistakes that other people have made so that we don't repeat them. Blueprint, incredibly powerful. And then finally, the last component is control, okay? We know, why are we always talking about control? Because if you don't have good controls, then you're not going to have confidence in the accuracy of your financial results. Without good controls, good compliance, you just don't know. You can't trust it. And if you can't trust what finance and accounting tells you, you can't run your business, okay? So, control. We've taken our compliance product plus some new capabilities around capturing information like your chart of accounts, versioning on that, multiple entity structures, accounting guidance. Which accounting guidance applies to which accounts? Okay. Have you done a review, a yearly review of your chart of accounts lately? Maybe your auditors might like that if you did. Now you've got a centralized place where you can actually do that. So I would make the argument that no platform is really a true, powerful platform without the ability to keep really good controls around all of this. All right, library of SOX controls. It's to ensure that your data is 100% correct. Now, here's the bigger picture, okay? And I started with the simpler one first because those 5 components are critical. But let's just talk very briefly over this. 2 things I want to highlight. First, the outcomes. Owen and I and the rest of Blackline is very focused on the fact that if we do not deliver value to you that is measurable, then we're not doing our jobs, okay? The outcomes from using this platform, and this is from a group of early adopters that have been such great partners to Blackline. Strong controls, automation, identify risks and anomalies, all right, lower costs, better compliance, faster insights. That's super important. Now, and I believe that's true value. That's true value to what you need to have an effective solution. Secondly, the amount of data that Blackline has, okay? When we decided to release this platform, we were very cognizant of the fact that we have a lot of data. We have customers that are literally matching billions of transactions, okay? I heard somebody the other day said a newer customer of ours is matching 35 million transactions a month, right out the gate. I was good. But in order to properly support that, we needed to modernize our data platform. And so you may be noticing a new logo on this slide, okay? Right over there in that second column, Snowflake. Today, with the announcement of the Studio 360 platform, I am also delighted to announce a new partnership with Snowflake. Okay. Woo, I mean, that's kind of fun. All right. Why is this exciting? Okay. It provides a modern data architecture. It is scalable. Okay. One of the most exciting things about Snowflake is its ability to data share in a way that could make that transition of data from your instance of Snowflake to Blackline incredibly seamless. Okay. There are so many exciting things that they are doing in the lead as the leader of modern data architecture that we think in our partnership we are going to be able to take incredible advantage of. Their application of AI, okay? There's so much going on there, and I think that this is going to be the foundation for what we can do going forward. If you're not familiar with Snowflake, I believe they are here. There's so much more and so many cool things there to learn. So, as part of what Owen and I have been focusing on for the last year and a half, almost, it'll be 2 years soon that we've stepped into the CEO role, is we have really looked for the right talent to take Blackline to the next generation. And we have 2 people that you will meet today. One is fairly new. That's our CTO, Jeremy Ung, all right? And the other is Charlie Galkey, who was at our very first user conference looking at about 14 years old. Okay, she runs product for Blackline. And so if you would give them a big warm welcome, and they're going to go into detail. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Charlie Galkey, and I'm our Senior Vice President of Product, and I'm going on my 19th year here at Blackline, which is just crazy to think about. Yes, and as Therese said, I've managed to attend every single Beyond the Black in North America that we've had, and I'm just as excited to be with you guys today.
Well, this is my first Beyond the Black. I'm Jeremy Young, Blackline's CTO. I'm excited to be at my first user conference and meet all of you today. I'm impressed that Charlie still looks, like Therese mentioned, like she's still in high school. So we're bringing that to you from the first user conference. Where we started is that Therese talked about the power of our platform. And with this platform, data is the new currency. Data is so fundamental to everything we are doing across the office of the CFO, but all of your enterprises and businesses as well. This is powering every transformation that's happening today. Data is so critical, and having a platform built on data that scales is important. But we want to help connect you to what that actually means. That's a very abstract comment. So how do we actually make this possible or better for you in the products that you're using? So our strategy has always been around using this data to make sure that our solutions are unified, comprehensive, flexible, and scalable. That's the power of that platform and having that data in one place. It's about scale. And so Therese unveiled this vision for you. And it's exciting to me as someone who loves platforms and technology to be able to share this with you today. This is a differentiated platform. And you might be asking how it works. And so Charlie and I are going to take you on a little bit of a tour, just like the Magic Kingdom tours. We're going to walk you through these components. But they're not just components that stand alone on their own, but they're about making your applications, the products you use, bigger and better. They're going to supercharge the applications you use to get to the outcomes that Therese talked about. So let's start off this tour at the beginning. Therese mentioned how powerful it is to be able to bring data into Blackline. That great video that showed the complexity of different ERP systems. The data landscape is so complex, and we understand that many of you are on a journey with respect to this data, and there's no perfect endpoint. No matter what happens, you're always going to have the next ERP system to integrate or a new data source. So no matter how messy your data is, we want to bring it into Blackline. Bring it in once, and have it usable across all our applications. And that's the power of Studio 360 Integrate. This data in one place supercharges the rest of our applications and accelerates the work you can do. Now, Charlie, talk about how this is going to work.
So as you saw on Teresa's slide earlier, your technology landscape can be very complicated with lots of separate and legacy systems. But we also know that the more data you bring into Blackline, the more automation and value we provide. Studio Integrate is how we solve this data integrity challenge. You can think of it as data alchemy because it turns unstructured data into structured data to power our products and our platform. And we do this in a variety of ways. We have pre-built connectors for the major ERPs. We have direct API integration to third-party systems. And we just recently released a file-based integration service, which puts our customers and our partners in the driver's seat when it comes to mapping and transforming the data themselves. Now, with a data lake powered by Snowflake, we can offer next-generation integration through direct Snowflake to Snowflake data sharing. Studio Integrate is how we unlock the automation that maximizes what the rest of the platform has to offer.
That's awesome. But now once that data is in one place, what can you do with it? How does that data help improve your workflows, the things that you're doing? And as Therese mentioned, we've been on this journey for a while. We have Studio, but how are we making it better now? It's critical with this fragmented data landscape that you can orchestrate not just activities in Blackline, but external systems as well. We want this centralized place to be where you orchestrate all your activities across the office of the CFO, and that's the power of Studio 360's orchestration capabilities.
Could you guys imagine a world where there's a zero-day close? Studio Orchestrate is how our customers are going to get there. Released to early adopters this past May, customers are now connecting the workflows in Blackline that move tasks and activities from start to finish. It uses event-driven architecture to ingest data as soon as it arrives. From there, it moves over to the batching engine, over to automated journal definitions, and finally through the auto-certification workflow, which is what posts those journals directly to the ERP. What used to take very precise timing and synchronization now can happen automatically and without any wasted time. In other words, some of those processes that you would wait hours and maybe even days to complete, you can think of as happening at the push of a button. As we continue to expand these capabilities outward, Blackline will be the centralized orchestrator across your entire system landscape.
But with this complexity of orchestration, you need to be able to see what's going on. It's critical that you have a single pane of glass across all your data. And this is where Studio 360 Visualize comes in. Having rich, customizable dashboards that you can share with other stakeholders inside of your organization or outside as well. Being able to communicate that through data in a visual way is powerful. It helps drive action as well as collaboration, and it's critical to the next generation of our products.
So as Jeremy said, data is now the new currency for the platform. Well, to make your data even more powerful, we need to add in intelligence and decision-making capabilities so that our users have real-time insights and can focus on what needs their attention the most. We've offered self-service reporting and pre-canned dashboards to you already, but now we want to provide you with the capability of defining and visualizing your own key performance indicators, the ones that matter most to your business. Supercharge that with AI and natural language processing, and you'll be able to interact with your data in a way that you never have before. You'll be able to detect trends and anomalies in real time, and it will provide you the single pane of glass that gives you the view you need across all of the Blackline products.
That's so powerful. But what really is so powerful, seeing all of you in the audience today, is just this community of practice. And that's the power of Blackline. We have over 4,400 customers. We have over 50% of the Fortune 100 using our products and over 20 years of experience. Charlie, hearing that feedback at the first user conference, has helped us capture these best practices. And now they're available in Studio 360 Blueprint. We're able to take our Blackline 9 best practices and others to create a library or set of templates that take that alchemy that Charlie talked about and make it repeatable. This is how you get to repeatable and successful digital finance transformation, is by being able to share those practices with others and easily and quickly deploy them, increasing time to value. That marketplace concept is also critical. We believe in that collaborative environment with our partners as well, having the ability to build these templates for their users as well. This is going to accelerate your journey and help you get to a successful transformation.
So I'm personally very excited about what Blueprints has to offer, maybe because I've been here for as long as I've had. So Blueprint will be our vehicle for providing customers and partners with a library of pre-built templates and out-of-the-box process flows. It also allows us to encapsulate our extensive knowledge and domain expertise that we've acquired over all these years. And it even allows us to co-innovate with you together on new best practices. Through Blueprint, customers can begin their journey more quickly and realize the value of Blackline sooner. By not having to start every new implementation from scratch, Blueprint will be a win for Blackline, our partners, and our customers.
But what about control? Control has always been in our DNA. It's the heart of what makes Blackline so powerful, improving your controls. And today there's data that lives outside of systems of record. Data around your chart of accounts and other organizational hierarchies need a home. And that's where the power of Blackline comes in and the future of Studio 360 Control is. It sets the stage for this data to be able to be controlled, to be audited, and also power new use cases in the future.
So as Jeremy said, at its heart, Blackline has always been a system of controls. And good governance and enforcement of those controls is a concept we want to spread across the entire platform. The vision of Studio Control is an accounting rules platform where you can standardize your accounting activities across the span of your business. It includes centralizing and versioning your chart of accounts and other managerial metadata so that you have a command center for distributing policies and procedures efficiently, especially in a world where regulatory requirements are changing. So what does this all mean? Studio 360 is the gold standard platform for the office of the CFO. It's not a replacement to our products, but it maximizes and accelerates the value that our products deliver. In other words, Studio 360 is the way forward for truly unlocking future-ready financial operations.
But what about data? What does it mean that data is the new currency? How does this data work in our applications? And what are some use cases that it's going to help power in the future? To set some scale and context around the amount of data at Blackline, we have roughly 30 petabytes of data. That's a massive amount of data. But what can we do with this data? What are some of the new use cases that this data helps drive? Artificial intelligence is one of those use cases. The vast demand for data centers and compute is really driven for data and to power AI workloads. And it's a critical aspect of our platform that we've built. But I know AI can seem daunting. In the panel earlier, we heard the word uncharted, but excitement around this as well. And we're here to help you navigate that uncertainty. Our approach has always to be to put you in control, to put you in the driver's seat around AI and help you build trust and confidence in AI solutions, but to also empower you to make sure you are future ready and have AI solutions at your fingertips so that you can be empowered to be more efficient. That's where this partnership and collaboration, this user centricity comes in. Today alone, we've released a plethora of AI features. These have already been successfully adopted by customers. and in some cases have saved them over 18 hours a day. That's an amount of time you can get back to do other things and focus on other more critical tasks. But what does the future of AI look like? We've seen a lot of different AI solutions. What's real? What is it going to do in the office of the CFO? How is it going to transform how we work? We believe a critical area is in decision-making and agentic experiences. Being able to embed intelligence and have AI-driven decision-making is so important in new workflows that we're seeing. But what does it mean? What is agentic? I think we were all relatively enamored and possibly surprised when we first saw ChatGPT come to the market from OpenAI. The ability to talk to AI, to have a conversation, to see human-like outputs felt almost unreal, like science fiction. And I think this is where the power comes in, taking those use cases, but taking them to the next level, where AI can begin to drive behavior, to drive changes, to make decisions, to act like a user persona or agent. And next year, we'll be investing in our decision engine. I'm excited that this is a new capability that we'll be bringing to the market to allow you to embed this intelligence in our products. And in Studio 360 Orchestrate, you will be able to use AI to help inform decisions or actions, to help you handle exceptions. This is critical to saving time and also helping you focus on more critical tasks. But what else is data good for? That 30 petabytes of data has helped us build machine learning models in-house that help predict the future, help forecast, especially around cash application, risk detection. There's a myriad of use cases that this data helps drive, and it's so powerful. But how do we help you further? I'm excited to announce AI-driven matching. So last year alone, 14.6 billion transactions were matched. That's an immense amount of transactions. But what went unmatched? Roughly 6 billion had to be handled by humans first. And that's a critical amount of time that we want to give back to you. How do we help you spot trends? How do we help you identify groups or clusters or suggest matches? This is where AI-driven matching will help you get to a 100% match much more quickly. But this data is also complex. We know data can be daunting. How do you find the right insight? How do you make sure that insight will be actionable? Today, we have a lot of BI tools, but it also is hard to learn how these tools work. You need to learn how to slice and dice that data. Not everyone is a BI expert. So how can we use natural language to find the data we want, to surface those actionable insights? I'm excited that with Journal Risk Analyzer, we've already been able to showcase some of the power of our platform in surfacing AI-driven insights. These are insights that are powered by AI. But we're also extending this with Studio 360 Visualize to take that powerful capability across the entire portfolio of data that we have to give you that single pane of glass powered by AI insights. And these are some of the exciting things that are going to be coming next year. But Charlie is now going to walk you through the rest of our exciting roadmap as well.
Thanks, January. I'm back. All right. So with these amazing technology advancements, we've been able to build even more capabilities into our products. I want to take this moment to share that over the past year, we've brought to you 144 new capabilities as we continue to deepen and expand our platform and our core services. And we've intentionally shifted our delivery approach this year by coming to the market with more early adopter programs so that we ensure that the voice of the customer remains at the heart of what we deliver to you. By having you on the innovation journey with us, we make sure that our success ultimately leads to your success as well. But what about what's coming next? Well, by focusing on building an intelligent platform, we are not only supercharging our products, we are supercharging our innovation as well. I'm excited to be able to share with you now 3 new capabilities that we believe will move you towards that zero-day close. Let's begin with high-frequency reconciliations. We've enhanced our current capabilities in this area by listening directly to our customers. And by studying various industries, we know that there is often a need, and in some cases, a requirement to reconcile your accounts more frequently. High-frequency reconciliation is the solution for gaining greater accuracy and control throughout your entire month. Built with a best-in-class user experience and on our highly scalable platform, it also solves the high-volume reconciliation challenge as well. I'm very pleased to be able to show with you what high-frequency reconciliations will look like in 2025.
Here at Blackline, we listen to you. And you shared that whether it be due to regulatory requirements or just sheer volume of transactions, you need a scalable way to reconcile your accounts more frequently. By increasing how often your accounts are reconciled, you'll be able to quickly identify anomalies and still have plenty of time for researching discrepancies. You'll be able to track and monitor exceptions through our integrated action item management workflow. In instances in which there are no discrepancies, you can bypass manual intervention altogether by capitalizing on our auto certification rules. High-frequency reconciliations is going to revolutionize how banking, retail, and other financial services perform their daily operations, which in turn will unlock more timely and more accurate financial reporting.
Pretty exciting, right? Okay, now I want to introduce, yeah, nice. This one's a big one that's been coming for a while. Now I want to introduce you to journal batches. Imagine that you can take a related set of journals and move them through a single workflow process. That you can ensure that the group of journals are validated and posted together as a single unit to the ERP. Journal batches does exactly that, and it will dramatically reduce the amount of time to complete your overall journal entry process. In fact, our first early adopter, who just recently went live with journal batches, found the functionality so useful that they ended up batching 84% of their total journal population when they had only expected to batch about 30% that first period. Let me show you how journal batches will improve your process as well.
How do you ensure that a related set of journals stays intact and ultimately posts as a single unit to the ERP? Journal batches is Blackline's way of moving a related set of journals through a single workflow, reducing dramatically the time it would take to create and review each journal individually. Batch journals are imported together and remain with the preparer until all the journals complete validation. Simplify your process by attaching supporting documents and comments directly to the batch and then watch as journals and supporting documentation post together as a comprehensive unit. Unlock both efficiency and accuracy in your end-to-end journal entry process with Blackline journal batches.
I hope you're seeing the ways these capabilities are going to allow you to reach that zero-day close. So what about financial reporting? Well, this one in particular is really exciting because it's a great example of how generative AI can be used to reduce inefficiencies and capture that lost time. And it's going to provide real-time insights instead into the state of your business. We know that financial reporting still suffers significant gaps between accounting, consolidation, and reporting teams. So instead, envision a world where those insights are seamlessly at your fingertips. With the release of variance automation, footnote generator, and coming soon, our financial statement summarizer, Blackline automates the heavy lifting of financial review. Let me show you how.
We're excited to integrate even more of your record to report activities into the Blackline platform using 2 recently launched AI innovations. First up is the new variance automation feature, which quickly summarizes the key drivers identified in underlying variance details across your operations. This will provide you with clear, concise insights that would otherwise be overlooked. Once those group-level fluctuations have been flagged and researched, an AI-powered footnote generator can write and display an intelligent summary for review and editing by an authorized user. These 2 available features work together to accelerate your organization's close process, but they're a starting point to more advanced capabilities that will help you build a comprehensive management discussion and analysis. we're investing in capabilities that will unlock AI-powered executive insights, reaching beyond your internal financials into a much wider and deeper data set, scanning public information for key events like acquisitions and critical industry updates. It will provide management and executives with an unobstructed view of your financial health and the macro trends impacting your business. All of these innovations take us another step closer to unlocking a zero-day close, when the process that used to take days or weeks happens in a virtual instant.
All right. Are you guys seeing the future of where this is all going? Are you hopefully seeing yourselves in that future? We hope so. So how about our roadmap as we head into 2025? Behind me now are just a few of the initiatives that we'd like to spotlight for next year, but they're just a taste of what's to come. So I invite you instead to come to the Innovation Hub. Come to the various breakout sessions, including our roadmap session, because we are specifically here to talk to you guys about these great things that we're working on.
Thank you, Charlie. That was such an exciting roadmap. Shortly, we're going to turn it over to Matt Eisman. But on behalf of the entire team, thank you for coming. Thank you for believing in Blackline and helping to build our future together. Thank you very much.
That was awesome. One more time, was that incredible out there? I am really thrilled to be back here. Some people stopped me when I was outside, and they're like, Matt, you sold out. I can't believe you do that. And I go, well, you know what? I will never do that again. I will never simply embrace the product. Listen, honestly, I don't know much about accounting, but Studio 360 sounds awesome. It sounds like finally computers are going to live up to what we were always promised computers will do. Like you accountants, you're not going to have to sit in front of Excel spreadsheets and file all these documents. You're going to have so much free time as accountants to go kill people and assassinate them. Ben Affleck can't do it all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Beyond the Black. Some housekeeping notes here. Listen, we want you to invite the Innovation Hub, but we know we're a little bit behind schedule. And if there's one thing I know accountants abhor, it's being late. So to get back on schedule, keep in mind you can go to the Innovation Hub, but right now we're going to encourage you to go right to your breakout sessions. We'll get right back on track. I think there's some water snacks out there. Go ahead and grab it. Head to your breakout sessions. They're going to begin. Get your seat. These sessions are going to fill up quickly. Everybody, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
cloudy sky in a moment, you and I. One more kiss, no one else. 다시 한 번 만나게 서로에게 향하게.